Hello, I'm Jeff Albright, and I will be talking about my facilitation technique on leisure education, and my activity title is Leisure Education. For my references, please see the links as well as the citations in my comment section. For my part C, the equipment and environment needed. One would need a comfortable environment, either indoor or outdoor, an individual or individuals that are willing to learn. Stated by Dattilo and McKenney, although developing activity skills are important, leisure education involves more than simply teaching activity skills. It includes enabling choice, freedom, and self-determination. With these concepts in mind, the use of various leisure models can help broaden choice, freedom, and self-determination. For my activity description, the first area to cover is to define and understand what leisure is to participants. Then have the participants set a goal for themselves in terms of their leisure activity. To start off, one set of definitions to use are these. Leisure education refers to organized instruction about leisure and leisure opportunities according to encyclopedia.com. According to Dattilo and McKenney, leisure is an experience that results from being intrinsically motivated to participate in what is perceived to be a freely chosen, meaningful activity that, when engaged in complacency, is a form of self-expression, contributes to a sense of identity and connectedness, and results in positive emotions such as enjoyment. Leisure is inherently connected to our sense of happiness and our ability to flourish. Help guide participants once they've been educated to a meaningful activity that is intrinsically rewarding and self-perpetuating. For my section E, the leadership considerations. An indoor-outdoor setting can be used, and the proximity of facilitator to a participant can be as close as a professor is to a student in a traditional classroom setting, or hands-on explaining an activity such as golf and adjusting the participant's grip. As a facilitator, it is good to know each participant and help support a leisure activity that the participant chooses. Mention any adaptations that may be needed for the chosen leisure activity depending on participant's disability. Answer any questions the participant has. For my part F, adaptations for 3 disabilities. My first one is cancer, and the definition, according to Porter, states cancer is the generic name given to a group of more than 100 diseases where abnormal cells divide and grow out of control. Characteristics, according to Porter, says as cancer advances, the cancer cells can invade other parts of the body, known as metastasize, spreading to nearby tissue or moving through the blood or lymphatic system. There are 4 stages to cancer. As numbers increase, so does the extensiveness of the cancer. Stage 4 is when the cancer has spread to other parts of tissue and organs from its initial site of diagnosis. Adaptations for the physical is depending on the stage, initial location, and current treatment, which typically decreases energy, and actual treatment itself takes up a lot of time from the day where leisure activities could have been performed. This will determine how to properly adapt an activity to an individual's choice of leisure activity. Example: if it is lung cancer and the individual wants to participate in football, the game would need to be adaptive to respiration functions, giving frequent breaks as to not to exert oneself to the point of collapse. In addition to the physical adaptations, for cognitive, social, and emotional adaptations, an individual with cancer, depending on location of cancer, may or may not suffer from any cognitive disabilities, or may be facing, for example, an inability to control motor movements. If cancer is located in the brain or on the primary motor cortex in the frontal lobe, it may be helpful to guide the individual to a leisure activity that will allow a safe progress of strength and understanding of the changes in their body. The use of exercise, for example, as listed by Porter, states exercise interventions resulted in improvements in the HRQOL, known as the health-related quality of life, physical functioning, role function, and social functioning. Emotionally, according to Porter, Being diagnosed with cancer is often a life-altering event. Porter goes on to state exercise interventions led to a significant reduction in depression, fatigue, and sleep disturbances, and improvements in the HRQOL, emotional well-being, physical functioning, and role function. For my next adaptation, gambling disorder, definition, Porter states that for some, however, gambling can become a compulsion, an activity that is carried out despite negative consequences or a desire to stop. Characteristics include problems in health, social isolation, or altered social roles, depression, suicide, ideation, and suicide, and limited preparation for adulthood and work. Adaptations for gambling disorders focus more on the physical, cognitive, social, and emotional portion of an individual. However, since physical impairments do not necessarily have a large impact in acquiring the disorder, its effects are seen after acquisition. Porter states behaviorally conditioned problem gamblers recall their first big win and they become conditioned to chase losses, meaning they lose but believe they will be able to win their money back, and so begins the cycle. This cycle continues as the gambler experiences cognitive distortions such as believing he somehow has control over the outcome or viewing losses as near wins or almost winning, so there's an uncontrollable desire to continue trying. Leisure education is used to promote positive intrinsic values. Using this education can help guide an afflicted GD individual. Porter goes on to state that Carthus recommends cognitive behavioral models of treatment that include cognitive therapy, stress management, relationship and communication skills, and the establishment of a non-gambling lifestyle. Porter goes on to mention that it is an addiction and/or an escape for those with GD. Porter also states that leisure education is a primary focus of RT interventions when working in GD. Leisure activities are a vital part of the emotional and physical wellness. They can help manage stress, prevent boredom, and maintain physical and mental health. Also offer coping strategies and increase self-confidence. Through leisure education, a GD can find a way to replace gambling and help in community reintegration. For my final adaptation, I will be talking about the substance-related disorders. Definition, according to Porter, states substance-related disorders involve the use of substances in ways that can be harmful to the person taking the substance, other people in the person's life, and the person's community. Characteristics, according to Porter, for the person are negative physical, psychological, mental, interpersonal, and work or school-related effects can be experienced. There are 10 separate classes of drugs in the DSM-5 that fall into this disorder. Porter goes on to state that all of the drugs have the common property of directly activating the brain's reward system. The disorder further gets divided into intoxication and withdrawal. Porter also states substance use exists on a continuum. Hazards and consequences of use are not universal, and a harmful involvement with one substance does not necessarily lead to harmful involvement with another. Adaptations are for the physical, cognitive, social, and emotional The adaptations for the physical health concerns stated by Porter include illness, injuries, hyperactivity of the autonomic nervous system, and physical damage to the body. Adaptations can still be applied to this disorder since leisure education helps in relating information needed to induce a healthy leisure lifestyle, and modifying any activity as needed to help with any physical deficits. Cognitive, Porter states, cognitive health concerns may include short-term confusion, learning problems, and memory loss. Socially, Porter states social health concerns include strained or unhappy relationships with the possibility of a breakdown, as well as problems at work or school. And emotionally, Porter states anxiety, depression, loss of motivation, anger, agitation, and irritability are mental health concerns. For any change to occur for these adaptations, Porter states to make sustained behavior change, clients will need support with motivation, behavior modification, and emotion management, including confidence in handling stress. Leisure education helps those very issues. Dattilo and McKenney state leisure education occurs in a variety of ways. They go on to say one strategy is to develop programs specifically intended to empower people experience leisure and happiness, and to ultimately flourish. Since leisure contexts provide opportunities for people to acquire information, develop ideas, and construct new visions for themselves and society. As with the physical adaptation, leisure education is used to tailor leisure to an individual's needs, since leisure itself is self-motivated and takes into account all of an individual's physical, cognitive, social-emotional needs and supports ways to make an activity adaptive. Thank you, and that concludes my presentation.